Hi guys, we continue with our mathematics class. Today we will start the unit number 2. It's about the study of the real numbers. Okay, what is a real number? Okay, a real number are any number that correspond to a point on a real line and can be classified into natural, integer, rational, and irrational numbers. In that case, you need to understand that we will work here. Okay, this is the area that we will see, but the most important thing is that you will apply the integers, fractions for the basic operations. Okay, now what is the first basic operations with the real numbers? Is the sum. Okay, it's a arithmetic operation that indicates that two or more quantities are united. For example, here you have 7 plus 8, it's equals to 15. Okay, you check the that line. If you moves to from zero, from zero, you moves to 7 plus, you need to add 8. The result is 15. Okay, it is only a review about the basic operation that you know. Subtraction, okay, is a rest, arithmetic operation that indicates that one quantity is removed or subtract from another. Okay, you need to use that sign is less. For example, here 10 less 4 is equals 6. Okay, again you move 10, so from 0 moves to 10, and you subtract, you need to remove 4, so you back, you move back, so the result is 6. Okay, multiplication, okay, it's like a sum, but it's how many times you need to add. For example, here 5 times 3. If you look here, is 3 times 5. So this is 5 one time, this is 5 2 times, 5 3 times. So the result is 15. Okay, the division, it's an arithmetic operation that indicates the distribution in several groups. It's well, it's a very basic operation, but in that case you need to distribute. Okay, for example, here 12 divided by 4. If you check here 12, again you move from 0 to 12, and you will divide in 4 parts. This is one part, second part, third part, and fourth part. Every part is 3. So the result is 3. Okay, this is all about the basic operations. Now this is the important here for that unit. We will see the direct and inverse variation. But first we need to understand what is a reason. The reason is the quotient between two numbers, showing how one number relates to another. Okay, it's a relation between two numbers. For example, here you have 2 and 5. This is the relation. This is a reason. Yeah, this is a reason. This is another reason. Yeah, if you match two reasons, you get a proportion. Yeah, all of that is a proportion. Now, understanding that, a reason again is the relation between two numbers. Yeah, if you match two reasons, you get a proportion. Yeah, okay. Now, direct variation. In that case, one quantity increases and another two. Yeah, for example, the higher pressure, so the temperature is higher. Yeah, to solve that kind of exercises, you need to apply the sample rule of 3. Okay, for example, here we will solve that exercises is about the unit number 2, direct and inverse variation. The first one, in 50 liters of seawater there are 1,300 grams of salt. How many liters of seawater will contain 5,200 grams of salt? Okay, it's very useful to apply that using a table. I will use paint here. Okay, you check here, you have two kinds of data. The first is liters and the second are grams. So here we'll use liters and grams. Okay, here what is the information that we know? 50 liters have 1,300. 50 liters have 1,300. Okay, now how many liters? You don't know how many liters, so in that case is unknown. Okay, and how many liters of seawater will contain 5,200? So 5,200. Okay, this is the problem here. Okay, you check here, you need to use sample rule of 3. Okay, now what you need to do, the simple rule of 3, you need to multiply the data that you have alone here. For example, here this is data is alone. You need to multiply here, and the result of that operation you need to divide by the last quantity. Okay, so here times 50 divided by, so this is the answer here. Two 100 liters of seawater. Okay, so you need to organize your information always. Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of variation you are working. Yeah, you need to use the information that you have in the problem, and you need to organize that information in a table. Yeah, you need to separate every kind of data. For example, here the first row it's about liters, the second row is about grams. Yeah, now when you have all the information organized, you need to apply the rule that you need to use. For example, if you are working with direct variation, you need to use the sample rule of 3. How you know if you are working in a direct variation? Remember, if one quantity increases, the another two. Yeah, if you check here the problem, if you have more liters of seawater, you will get more grams of salt. Yeah, so if you have less liters of seawater, you will get less grams of salt. So this is the reason that the first exercise, it's about the direct variation. Okay, guys? Okay, we continue. Now, the next kind of variation is the inverse variation. Yeah, in that case, if one quantity increases, the another decrease. Okay, an example here, if you have higher pressure, you get less volume. Okay, well, now we will apply in another example here. The exercise number 5. To pack certain amount of wine, 8 barrels of 200 liters of capacity each are needed. We want to pack the same amount of wine using 32 barrels. What should be the capacity of these barrels? Okay, again, you need to use a table for that. What kind of data we have? We have barrels and liters. Okay, so here liters, well, I will change the color, liters and barrels. Okay, so the first data that we have, 8 barrels to 8 barrels, 200 liters, and the next data, 32 barrels. Okay, now the thing is, what kind of variation is that problem? If you think that is a direct variation, you need to read very well that problem. Again, to pack a certain amount of wine, 8 barrels of 200 liters of capacity each are needed. We want to pack the same amount of wine. Look here, the same amount of wine. Okay, that information tell us that is not a direct variation. Why? Because if you look for how many liters is the amount of the total of wine, you need to multiply that information. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah, 8 times Okay, so this is the all quantity of wine that you need to pack in barrels. Yeah, this is all the wine. If you read here, you need to pack the same amount of wine. So what it means that you need to distribute that quantity in 32 barrels. So you need to divide that quantity in that value of barrels. Yeah, so you need to divide by 32. Okay, so here you need to divide by 32, so the answer is 50 liters. 50 liters. Okay, so yeah, you need to use the inverse rule of 3 for the inverse variation. Okay, how it works: if you use the simple rule of 3, you will multiply here and divide here, but it only if that kind of problem was a direct variation. But check here, it's not a direct variation, it's the inverse variation. Why? Because if you increases one quantity, the other decrease. Yeah, so you increase the barrels, but you decrease the capacity of the barrels. Yeah, because it's the same quantity of wine. Yeah, so this is important here to understand what kind of variation is a problem that we will solve. You need to read very well the problem and understand if one quantity increase and another two, this is a direct variation. But if one quantity increase and the another decrease, is the inverse variation. Yeah, and the operation are inverse. Yeah, okay, how you will solve the direct and inverse variations problems in Word? Okay, you need to use the equation editor. Okay, you need to use that tab, insert, and you need to use here the equation editor. Yeah, and for example, to use a table here, you look for a kind of structure that have 1, 2, 3 columns and 2 rows. Yeah, so here the matrix, and select that kind of data. And so to organize that, letters, for example here, letters. Yeah, okay, barrels, okay. So this is how you can organize in Word your exercises about direct and inverse variations. Okay guys, I will wait for your homework for that exercises. You will solve all the exercises, so remains 2, 3, 4, 6 and 7. Maybe some of that exercises are harder than others. It's no problem with you, because in the next class I will solve it. Okay, so guys, I will wait for your homework.